Okay.
Later will be sharp.
So like most of you, I grew up in a sporty and active environment. My parents are active every day and they really instilled that in me. I, like Tyson, grew up in a really small town. There's nothing to do but sports, school, and a couple other things that we won't get into right now. But this is me and my team on one of our championships. Basketball was my life in high school. I practiced for hours and hours a day. But I also grew up with the mentality that kids that didn't play sports were lazy, they had bad attitudes, they were weird. I didn't like that because they weren't like me. But then I found out that I'm the weird one, that like everyone in the Shake program, we like to be sweaty, we like to be active. We're the anomaly, and that took me a long time to figure out. So, kids that don't like playing traditional sports like soccer or basketball or volleyball, they maybe like doing other activities like fishing or BMX bike riding, surfing, and horse riding. So for my purpose, I wanted to create a sustainable equine therapy program in the Nanaimo First Nations community. This is to give kids an opportunity to break out of the box for the kids that don't like playing soccer, to get active a different way. And the second purpose, the project also allowed me to develop my knowledge and experience as an equine therapist. So to begin my steps, I started with 5 semi-formal interviews with equine therapists across British Columbia and Alberta. Then I met with Mariah and we recruited 4 students between the ages of 7 and 16 from the Sawak Learning Center. I had to get the students to sign release forms and get insurance through the BC Horse Council, and I also had to get insurance so that I covered myself, my mom who was the coach, and the riding center that we were using. Then I created an information booklet, and this had horse anatomy, this had basic riding terms, this had parts of the equipment, and it also had the different ways that you care for a horse. And then I had to create 6 lesson plans. These were general that the coach would follow, but as the students progressed, the lesson plans would change. Then I had to organize equipment and the horse. So that meant bringing down saddles and helmets, riding boots from northern Alberta. That took a long time to get all that coming down. And then I had to start riding the horse and working the horse to make sure that he was prepared for the students to start riding and working him. Then I finally met with Mariah one more time so that we could set the dates and the times for our sessions so that we could finally start riding after 3 long months. So from the interviews, the main thing that I took away is that equine therapy and riding therapy are in huge demand right now, and it's an extremely successful business. But if I want to make my own practice, I'm going to have to spend a lot of money, and I have to have a lot of motivation to actually get there and start it. For the lessons, even though the kids came without any prior experience or knowledge, they were extremely eager to learn. They soaked up the information like a sponge. On the second session, when I asked them all the previous questions from the first session, they knew the questions and the answers instantly. And I was like, whoa, I was like, you actually did your homework. And then the kids had a lot of confidence trying new things and actually going into a new experience. And as the lesson progressed, their confidence skyrocketed. I was really impressed with them. So why should I care? Why am I doing this? And why should you guys care? It's because I believe that students and kids need to make social connections. They need to make connections with other peers, with older people, with horses and animals. And horse riding has been linked to cognitive function increase and increased memory retention. And riding is just a great way for a leisurely exercise. So in 45 minutes of leisurely riding, you can burn up to 200 calories. And we all know what exercise benefits are, but let's do a little refresher. It reduces body fat, increases lifespan, oxygenates the body, strengthens muscles, manages chronic pain, wards off viruses, reduces risk of diabetes, strengthens the heart, clears arteries, boosts mood. Builds self-esteem, anti-aging, better sleep, maintains mobility, improves memory, improves coordination, strengthens bones, improves complexion, decreases stress, boosts immune system, lowers blood pressure, reduces cancer risk, and it's friggin' fun. So this, I'm gonna catch my breath now, is a pretty detailed but not detailed chart at the same time. This is a bunch of groups that were done in a study to look at who benefits from horse riding. And the main group was, which is the laser?
Yeah.
And the main group was the children and youth between ages 10 to 17. From the one group, 60% of them benefited in some way, shape, or form. But in all of these other groups, such as teens, eating disorders, grief and loss, ADHD, depression, and anxiety, they can be broken down from that age group in 10 to 17 years old. So building this up, you can see that exercise in any way, shape, or form is important for kids 10 to 17 and younger. Now to summarize, from the interviews, it's really important to get the equine therapy out in the world, and it's an extremely successful business. Kids are eager to learn, they want to try new things, and they're confident during trying those new things, and especially afterwards, they skyrocket. Plus, exercise in any way, shape, or form is good for everyone. So my main challenges were dealing with people, waiting for people. Schedules don't line up, priorities aren't the same, and sometimes they just forget about you. That's the worst thing. So I found that I had to be more organized than them. I had to be sending emails every other day, phone calls every other day, and I had to make sure everyone else knew that this was my priority, and I really wanted their input. The other biggest challenge was only having one horse. Now this looks like a hell of a lot of fun, and it sure is, but it's not exactly ideal for a learning environment. So what I had to do was book multiple sessions a week to get the most opportunity without breaking the horse's back. Now, the biggest thing that has impacted me from this project is the very first day that we had a riding session, and the little boy who's 7 years old, he just finished, and his mom pulled up to pick him up, and he runs up to her and he says, "Mom, this is the best day of my life." I was like, what? I was like, I did that. I gave him an opportunity to make him feel that way, and I just kind of took a step back, and I really just couldn't believe that I had done that. So that really makes me want to go forward with this, to give more opportunities to the kids who sit on the sidelines, to the kids who are picked over in sports, to the kids with disabilities, to just anyone that really wants to try to do something different. So I'll leave you with this. And it's a horse doesn't care how much you know until he knows how much you care. Put your hand on your horse and your heart in your hand.